Hi Preeti Sathaye, how are you?
Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much for giving me your time. It's a pleasure
My pleasure.
to have you on my channel. This is a business channel called Business Idea 365. We showcase professionals and business owners.
Yeah.
So it's a great honor and privilege to have you on the show.
My pleasure entirely.
Thank you. So Preeti, what are you doing actually? Can you tell something? What is that keeps you going?
Okay, as of now, I'm working on a product that I have just recently got patented for.
Okay.
This is a natural enhanced sugar.
Okay.
So, sugar is something that has been a problem as well as a sweetener. So, it's something that is very highly wanted and yet it can also create problems.
Right.
So, for a long time, I have been working on this in my profession or during my professional journey. And it so happens that now I work on a company which produces and markets this sugar, which is called as KUTsugar or Stellar. And this is a naturally enhanced sugar, as in it is a natural sugar of cane sugar as well as of stevia leaves.
Okay, what is it?
Stevia is a small plant which is basically from South America. The origin is South America.
Okay.
But just like we used to use sugar from sugar cane in India for thousands of years, similarly for centuries the South Americans have been using stevia leaves to sweeten their teas. Now this has actually got discovered quite a long time ago, somewhere in 1990s, but it's very difficult to use. It had a little off taste. And therefore, this sweetener was not very commonly used or commercialized, like how sugar got commercialized.
Right.
Now, the benefit of this sweetener is it has antioxidant properties, it has antibacterial properties, and the best part is it is sweet without having calories.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, this sweetener, if you add to your standard sugar, you could make your standard sugar much more sweet and you would automatically tend to use less.
Oh.
That was the whole starting point of putting these two together.
Okay.
Actually, there have been a lot of sugar-free sweeteners in the market for
there are many, plenty.
Plenty. And they are all chemicals. Either they are chemicals to begin with, or like some of them, they are marketed as natural, but they are basically natural only at the start. After that, you do a chemical process, and finally, they do make a chemical or a synthetic substance. A synthetic substance usually is not as safe.
Yeah, it's not good for the health.
It's not good for health. And this paraguay sugar, that is stevia sugar, was used for centuries without any harmful effects.
Okay.
So it was known. Now the challenge here that I began working with, I'll take you on my personal professional journey a little later, since we've already started talking on to my product.
Correct. Yeah.
So the challenge here was these sweeteners are like hundreds of times, 600 times, 400 times sweeter than your standard sugar.
Really?
So you really can't use them directly. So they need a diluent. All your companies across the world, not just in India, use something as a diluent. They use one of the polyols or xylitol, erythritol substances as diluent. Now that actually is not a very great idea. If you have a natural substance, completely safe, and then just to make it usable, to dilute it with some inert material, you're going to add something to it, then that doesn't really make sense.
Right.
That's where I began, and my profession, I have been in cardio-diabetes for a long time.
Okay.
So my thought process had been on, how to help the diabetics or the cardiology patients to overcome this problem.
Okay.
So from there, the first thought was sugar has its own beauty. Sugar has a first note of sweetness, which is not there with anything. Your tongue has an instantaneous recognition of sugar. No other sweetener, even your sugar-free products, any of the sweeteners, including stevia, will not give you the first note of sweetness.
Really?
Yeah. So the tongue is that sensitive to the presence of sugar. And but sugar has calories. So what is really the poison which for the last almost 30 years or 3 decades, people have been, scientists and doctors have been trying to promote that don't use sugar. There are two anomalies or two contradictions in this. One is sugar is not like cyanide. I mean, just because you had a little sugar, you're not going to start having problems. It's the dose that is the poison. So
Dose in
it's
the sense?
the quantity you use.
Quantity use.
If you're using 1 gram of sugar or 1 pinch of sugar every day, well, nothing is going to happen to you. It's going to be pretty good. In fact, everything you eat gets converted to sugar. All the carbohydrates get converted to sugar before they are absorbed.
Right.
But if you just eat a little, it will not create any problem. It will spread sweetness, it will spread happiness. But if you consume in bulk, that's what causes the problem. Now this combination, stevia, which is a natural sweetener, 300 times sweeter than cane sugar, no calories, no harm. Now this, if you add to your standard sugar as the diluent, now here you are using sugar itself as the diluent to replace sugar.
Oh,
So that was the challenging task.
okay.
So getting people to see what we are trying to do here. And I tried to combine sugar. See, this is the product actually, which we'll bring it in right now.
It looks like a sugar.
It looks exactly like sugar. It works exactly like sugar. It is just 4 times sweeter than your sugar. So that is why I'm using this spoon, which is 1/4. Exactly 1/4 measure
Yeah, it's
spoon.
too small.
So instead of 1 spoon, you use 1/4 measure spoon. And you do exactly what you want with your standard sugar. You don't even realize you're not using your standard sugar. All you do is reduce the quantity, use this spoon instead of using a standard teaspoon.
My God.
And the
This is available in the market?
Yes, we just launched it a couple of years ago under the brand name of KUTsugar.
KUTsugar.
Yeah, it's spelled as KUT, KUTsugar.
Oh,
And yes, it's doing pretty well. We also have a higher concentration version of it, which is called as Gold, Stellar Gold. That's this one. This is also there in the market. This is like 10 times sweeter and that is 4 times sweeter. So
this is 10 times.
10 times sweeter than sugar. So the
10x.
spoon here, yes, this is 10x. So here you use a spoon which is like this
Oh,
tiny.
wow.
So it is literally a pinch. So 1 cup of tea, you will actually use just a pinch of sugar. So you can have your sugar, you can enjoy the sweetness, you can spread the sweetness, and yet don't bother about blood glucose rising.
That's amazing. It's so good.
So
It's
we
a
just
wonderful
received
product for the health.
Yeah, I just received my patent for it in August 2023.
Oh,
So 1 year ago,
1
and
year
we are kind of promoting it now, making it
great.
big.
So this is done where your marketing only in India or?
Yeah, currently we are
Yeah.
marketing only in India. We are exploring other markets, but not yet
Not
fully
yet.
explored. Not yet.
But it would have a greater market.
Yes, it can. But
International.
India itself has such a huge market.
Yeah,
I mean, the
India
sugar
is-
consumption in fact, ever since I've started this product, I have been saying that sugar has a place in your body and in your machines. Only consume as much as you need, rest all convert it to ethanol and put it in your cars. Let it run your cars, don't let it ruin your body.
Oh wow. Wonderful.
So that's
How did this journey start? What made you come into this?
okay. It's a long story really.
Yeah.
I'm basically a pharma management and law
Okay.
person. So I started my career in pharma in 1990.
Okay.
And then I moved up in pharma, working with various companies. My last project was, or one of my projects was with Wokat, where we were working on the cardiology division. And just around that time, the world market was really booming for stevia. So the natural sweetener stevia was coming up in the world market as a medicine, as a drug.
Oh,
It was not yet in the food, licensed as a
Okay.
food. But many of the countries had begun licensing it as food. Somewhere around 2006, 2007, many countries started taking it up as food. India had not taken it up as food. So we had started working on this as one of our products
Oh.
to be launched in future. I had started working on it. Somehow Wokat didn't go ahead with their cardiology team. They retracted the cardiology team.
Oh.
So after about 28 years in the pharma segment, when I came out of Wokat, then I didn't join another company. I started my own work
That was your first and
on
last.
research on stevia.
So that was your first and last.
Like
You worked for 28 years.
28 years, yes. And then I came out of VOCA to start working on the research. The research itself took about 2 years.
Oh my God.
So I filed in 2016, the patent was approved in 23.
Oh, 7 years.
Yeah, we had a COVID in between, so nothing was happening there.
Nothing was moving.
Nothing was moving.
Okay.
So that's how it currently is. Actually, I also make, based on the same premise, we also make sugar-free sweeteners.
Okay.
Sugar-free sachets, just like you have sugar-free.
Yeah.
However, this is not the chemical that sugar-free has.
Okay.
This has
chemical
stevia, yeah, this has stevia and dextrose, that's all. And it doesn't have a third substance. So one of the things about the sugar as well as this is that it doesn't have anything else other than the two natural. Yeah, it's standard pouches. So it's
So cute it is.
yeah.
Very nice.
So, and the
This
beauty,
one is good. This looks like about 10 grams?
no, it's 1 gram.
1 gram.
It's 1 single gram.
Oh, it's
And
very
this
light.
will sweeten 1 cup of sugar.
Oh,
So instead of the 10 gram sugar that you add, 2 teaspoons is what very commonly added in
yeah,
one.
commonly used. Normal. It's
This will sweeten the whole cup. So your calorie consumption drops down like crazy.
drastically.
Yeah, drastically. This one packet will hardly give you 4 calories or
Oh.
5 calories, whereas 2 teaspoons of sugar will give you 40.
40. My
Yeah.
goodness.
5 grams in each teaspoon. So two teaspoons will give you 40 calories.
Oh.
So this is like this.
That's so healthy actually.
Yes, and this picked up. I mean, this was launched earlier than the sugar.
Okay.
But this currently I'm supplying almost every corporate hospital in Bombay. We are not really very widely present in Pune or out of Bombay. But in Bombay, I'm supplying the Ambani Hospital, I'm supplying Reliance Hospital, I'm supplying Saifi, Hinduja, Sushrut, I'm supplying just about every hospital in Bombay. Tata Hospital, the head of nutrition, had actually called me to ask me about the science, and since I was a pharmacist, I could actually go there and discuss the whole purpose of adding dextrose instead of, xylitol. And after all getting convinced, he actually prescribes it to all the onco patients that he feels should shift to sugar-free. Instead of just saying that, okay, drop a little sugar, he actually tells them, no, you start this. Because it doesn't have xylitol, it doesn't have any other thing that will harm the onco patients.
So where do you get this manufactured? Where's the unit?
Currently, we have our manufacturing at Baikala.
Baikala.
It's a small unit because currently our total quantities required are small. But hopefully we should be able to expand soon. I mean,
I'm sure it's got a larger market.
It has a huge market. The way I have
globally
I have seen brands become 100 crores when I was working in pharma. But I have been proud to be involved with brands which we have together as a team made 100 crores, 300 crores or whatever. If my experience in pharma is anything to go by, then this actually can be thousands of crores very soon. India currently is a market which takes 16,000 tons of sugar and it consumes the whole thing every year.
16,000 tons?
Tons, that's the Indian sugar market. I mean, if you can even drop it down to like 10%, drop it 10% less. Even then it's a huge drop in the sugar consumption. And can you imagine what it would do to the health of the country?
Yes.
It's phenomenal.
Diabetes is a big issue.
Yes. And sugar, it's very easy for doctors to say stop sugar. It is pretty difficult because by nature we are tuned to identify sugar as a nourishing, life-sustaining substance. Our body, our mind, like if you just see a small baby, even when it's tiny, nobody's told it this is good, this is bad for you. The minute you give it a little honey, it won't cry. It will try to eat the honey, suck the honey or whatever, swallow.
Yeah.
It's happy. Why is the child happy with honey and why would the child not be equally happy with something bitter? It identifies every
It's
animal
natural.
also. Yeah, nature has given us this because sugar is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are required for sustenance of life.
Okay. Yeah.
So for sustenance of your energy. So nature has actually attuned us to seek out carbohydrates. So you do seek out sugar.
Natural.
Yeah, it's
Natural.
natural. You can't completely stop it.
Stop it.
Maybe one or two people out of willpower can stop it, but you can't make it a mass thing that you don't eat sugar.
You don't eat
It won't
sugar.
happen.
That won't happen. It's not practical.
Not practical. So this is much more practical solution. You just reduce the quantity you use.
And you retain the taste also.
Retain the taste.
Sweetness.
Yeah.
Sweetness is
Sweet,
retained.
yes. You actually also retain part of sugar properties. You know, sugar is also used as a binding agent very often. Or it is used as a baking, that caramel flavor.
Yeah. Cake.
So if you use a little sugar and don't completely remove it from the recipe, you can make any recipe, cakes, pastries. I mean, we make cakes, pastries, or Indian sweets, even Bengali sweets with this.
No.
You can actually make just about any sweet with it. Just like you use standard sugar, use 1/4 the quantity.
So quantity is too less.
Yeah,
Very
the
less.
quantity used is very less. So actually, since my entire pharma career had been in, cardio diabetes, I have been a pharma marketing professional, so I have been in the marketing sector
Okay.
longer,
Longer.
no, more than the production sector. So this was like I've been trying to help cardiology and diabetes patients through my job for years. So this kind of came more
That's more
naturally.
natural, and
Yeah.
I think that's what you enjoy most.
Yes, I did. I mean, the research part of it was, oh my, you should have seen the way we ended up. It took me about 2 years to actually get down all the documentation right before I filed. But there were times when my kitchen used to turn into my laboratory.
Okay.
And then when the product was ready, I would send it to the lab for
Labs,
testing.
yeah.
Then you wait until the report comes and then you... We also try to use a process, again natural, purely natural, using mushrooms. That process ensures that the small off taste of stevia is lost. So you try to come as close to sugar as possible in taste, and yet the calories are less.
Oh, wonderful. That's very good for health.
Yeah, it is very good for health.
Wow. So what kind of challenges you faced when you started off?
Okay, first challenge was actually trying to get the product together, as in you needed the process to be right. Then the next was to keep testing it, because you see, this is a food product now.
Yeah.
So most of the testing needs to be done in group. And
Group in the sense? What do you mean?
focus groups, you have to put together a focus group, make them taste it, record all their
Okay.
ratings, and then try and tweak the product again, make some changes. So trying to collect focus groups, because I was working as an individual and not through a university or something. So that research part was challenging. Once that was done, one of the very big challenges was to actually work the patent. I mean, we filed for it, but now we need to make the product and put it out into the market. We needed the machinery, we needed the pilot scale up.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my husband helped me out a lot. He's an architect, so he had a little, he could set up the place for me the way I wanted. So he had a place also where I could actually put up.
The way it is required.
Yes, he could put it up the way it is required. He could actually focus on, the infrastructure and leave me to focus on the research of the product. So that helped.
Nice.
That certainly helped a lot.
So it was a teamwork.
It was a teamwork. Absolutely, it was a teamwork. This is not something one person could do anyway. But well, we are here today. The patent is through, and we are happy. Hopefully, we'll be able to.
So, any success stories you'd like to share? You have come a long way. So what is
Yeah, I think this itself is one success story. I would also like to say that last 2 years after this filing was done and the product was kind of being produced on an autopilot now. Okay, we have some fixed orders, we have some fixed production.
so it is.
Frankly
Kind of
speaking,
automated.
I didn't really jump into getting it really big, because in my opinion, it's not a single person's job. I have been in real huge pharma companies, And I know what kind of manpower, muscle, money muscle you'll need to push behind this to really make it big. And it's not an individual person's job.
Of course, yes.
So we said, okay, let us put it into the market, let things grow, a little organic growth on its own, then we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I've just recently completed I'm a little proud of that also, and therefore this is a little out of this particular business, but that's something I'm working on at the moment. A second product I'm working on, not really related to food. I just completed my master's in psychology,
Oh,
and I'm trying to do some research in neuroimaging, where you have EEG, like how you have an ECG of the heart, you have an EEG of the brain
okay.
at various emotions, various states, various activity states.
Okay.
So I'm trying to work some product based on that, and that's really interesting.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. So that was nice talking to you. So
My
anything-
pleasure, as I said. It was my pleasure entirely to be on your program, on your show.
It's an honor for me. Anything else you would like to add before we wrap up?
No, I'm really very glad to actually have this opportunity to showcase. I have not done this before, even on my own.
Okay.
Despite the fact that I have been marketing my own product, I have never done this before. So I'm really, really thankful to you to have approached me and have given me this opportunity to say, to say whatever I wanted about my product. It's really high time it reaches
That's nice.
people.
That's so nice of you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care. God bless.
Thank you.
Please do like, subscribe, and watch.